Well, today's movie, pardon me, today's Friday night movie recommendation is 1953's Stalag 13, which was directed by Billy Wilder, and had William Holden, Don Taylor, and Otto Preminger in it. The movie is a dark humor whodunit set in a World War II POW camp in the winter of 1944. It can be dark and bleak at times because, hey, it's a prisoner of war camp. There are Nazis. There's so much happening in this film that's just a pleasure to watch. So when this film came out in 1953, give me an idea what was happening. Lucille Ball had just given birth on I Love Lucy. Disney's Peter Pan was in the theaters. The first Chevy Corvette was produced in Flint, Michigan, and Hugh Hefner published the very first copy of Playboy magazine. The U.S. was still deep in the midst of a Cold War, and there were civil rights issues coming to brew with bus boycotts. This film, you got to keep in mind, this film where it was set was in 1944, and this film came out in 1953. This is not even 10 years after the time the movie was set in. World War II was still very fresh in everybody's mind. Being a prisoner of war was still fresh in everybody's mind. The movie came from a play adaptation, which was well received, well done, and a lot of the critics said that by bringing it out into a movie form, they were able to flesh it out superbly. This film got nominated for a number of Oscars. It got nominated for Best Director. It got nominated for Best Supporting Actor by Robert Strauss. It was, William Holden, who's the main actor in here, and one of the reasons I love the film so much, he walked away with the Oscar. Now, he actually thought that Burt Lancaster or somebody else, there were a lot of other good movies came up. He thought that they really should have gotten the Oscar for it. And a lot of people thought that that was one of the reasons why he gave such a short thank you, which was basically thank you at the Oscars. But really, no, he was told before as he was going up to the front that they were very strict back in these days about the time cutoff, and the show was running long. But he also saw it as a bit of a consolation prize for the work that he did in an earlier Billy Wilder movie called Sunset Boulevard, which he didn't win, which he was absolutely superb in that one. Now, if you don't have a chance, and the name Billy Wilder sounds a little familiar to you, he was a producer of really fantastic films. Sabrina, 7 Year Itch, Some Like It Hot. And he liked working with the same actors on these films. I would watch this film every single time I saw it come on. I loved the grittiness of it. I loved the dark humor. I loved the humanity. I loved how I crawled into the skins of these poor guys that were damaged by war and thrown together. And I didn't find out until recently that this film had been filmed chronologically, which was a big expense at the time. Normally you would just set up one scene and film it for that particular scene, break down that scene, never go back to that scene again. And or that set and then move on. But they did this for a number of reasons. They wanted the actors not to know who the Fink was. And William Holden was arguing with Billy Wilder that he wanted to have his character to be more likable. But Billy Wilder was fairly strict with him and said, no, I know you've played the tough guy before, but I really need you to do it one more time and not to soften up too much in this film. And apparently that direction paid off because he ended up walking away with the Oscar. So that's my Friday night movie recommendation to you is Stalag 13 from 1953. You're going to see an Oscar-worthy performance and an all-around great film. And it's one of the few films I've added to my inappropriate Christmas list because the whole movie is set during Christmas. Anyway, so that's my recommendation this week. Have fun at the theaters, or rather on Canopy, because that's where you can watch this. You can watch it commercial-free on Canopy. If you don't know, that's a service that's provided by your local library. You can also see it on Tubi and Roku, but I can't guarantee that you won't be stuck watching a few commercials.